Hey, what's up, everybody? So, going live right now. We are going to get Katy Perry on here. I can't wait. I'm super excited. So, I'm Dr. Ed McDonald. We're going to be talking about apple cider vinegar. I am super excited. So, I know you all are not here to see me per se. So, let's get Katy Perry on here. So, I'm bringing it up right now. I can't even believe this is happening. Folks are like, Ed, you're doing Katy live with Katy Perry. They couldn't believe it. So let's get her in the building. All right, should be coming on. Katy,
Yes, it's
hey,
happening.
what's going on?
Hi.
Good to see you.
Sorry, I was like, flyaways, flyaways. Hi, everyone. Hi, Dr. Ed.
What's going on?
Good morning.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so
It's
excited to
afternoon
speak with
here,
you today. Oh, afternoon. Where are you at?
Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah,
Amazing. Wow.
I'm literally
Well,
in our endoscopy lab. Literally just finished a procedure maybe like 10 minutes ago.
I'm sorry, excuse me. A what lab?
Endoscopy. So endoscopy is where I'm a gastroenterologist first and foremost, and
Oh, wow.
endoscopy, that's where we use our cameras to actually do colonoscopies and look inside of the stomach. So I think I just got done placing a feeding tube for someone who could not eat.
Oh, okay. So you do real good stuff every day.
I try. I
You
try.
you really help people every single day.
Well, vice versa.
Your karma is good.
So your music definitely helps a lot of folks. So you'd be surprised how many times you walk by an endoscopy room and there's a Katy Perry song playing.
Really?
That's serious. And one of my
Don't
colleagues,
say
she's like,
dead. Don't say dead.
okay, well, very much so serious.
Very
So,
much serious.
yeah, one of my colleagues, she's like 7 years old, right? So I told her I was doing a live with you. She didn't even know what Instagram was, but she was like, who are you doing it with? I'm like, Katy Perry. And this 7-year-old woman said, OMG.
OMG, she's so funny. She's
Yeah,
so funny. Well, I'm excited to speak with you today. I'm excited that you have joined as, our scientific board on Brags. Now, everybody that's tuning in, we are here to talk on Wellness Wednesday about one of my favorite magic potions, which is apple cider vinegar. You're like, vinegar? Like, what? Yeah, it's one of the most incredible potions. Has so many amazing varieties of it helps you in so many different ways, and we're going to talk about that today. But actually, we're going to talk about a supplement way to take ACV, which is what we like to call it, and talk about the science behind it. And Dr. Ed, you're going to be speaking with us. Can you tell us how you got involved with Brags and how you use it every single day, and some
yeah,
some background, some history? Introduce
yeah.
yourself to all of the Katy cats. Hey, Katy cats.
And by the way, my 7-year-old colleague called herself a Katy cat, which was
Okay,
amazing.
well, you're never too young and you're never too old. 8 to 80, we love it.
Love it, love it, love it. So first and foremost, I'm a gastroenterologist, as I said. I'm also the associate director of adult nutrition at the University of Chicago. So part of my job is, really seeing a lot of people who actually have malnutrition. I see folks who
Malnutrition.
can't, yeah, malnutrition. That's, people who have not had food for a long period of time, where you've lost a lot of weight. So I see a lot of people with eating disorders, a lot of people with cancer, unfortunately trauma victims. And then I also started our weight management clinic. So I have a weight management clinic in which I help people lose weight. So I'm also a trained chef. I went to culinary school to kind of help teach nutrition to the general population, but also to our medical students. And in that process, I learned more about apple cider vinegar and also plant-based diets. So some years ago, I started a blog called The Doc's Kitchen, and I wrote a blog post that just reviewed the literature on apple cider vinegar. And somehow, some way, Patricia Bragg got a hold of that
Yep.
blog post, and
Yep.
the rest is history. So here I am, and I'm looking forward to working with Bragg. And we're also trying to get a research study where we're looking at how apple cider vinegar can actually impact the gut microbiota, the bacteria that live inside our gut.
That's right. That gut, which is that second brain, when they say, "Oh, do you feel it in your gut?" or, what does your gut say? You're like, "Huh? What does your gut say? Why do I care what my gut says?" Well, your gut is actually responsible for a lot of your well-being. and your microbiome and the levels, keeping it all, you know, balanced is really important. Sounds like you know about the science behind food and what it takes to be balanced and healthy and what you should be, you know,
Yeah, no,
eating
it's
and
definitely.
ingesting in your everyday life.
So it's a work in progress. I mean, there's a lot of data out there, and there's more studies that need to be done. But I know more than the average person.
That's okay. Yeah, you do. So just to it, kind of refresh anyone that doesn't know, I actually grew up with Patricia Bragg, and she is the icon of health. She's the queen of health. My mother, my dad's from Memphis, Tennessee, so he always brought the
Okay.
barbecue. And my mother is from California, so she always kind of brought the health and wellness organic side of life. And it was always a fight, you know, in the house. Are we having meatloaf or are we having watercress? um, but so I had a little bit of both, and that is really truly my palate. It's like meatloaf or like celery juice. Um, it's pretty bizarre, but hopefully one cancels out the other or gives it a little bit of balance.
It's all
Um,
about the balance.
it is all about that balance. But you know, I got my first guitar from Patricia Bragg. She bought it for me when I was 13. She really believed in me as a musician. She heard me
Wow.
sing at church. She would come to my parents' church. And as a child, I drank apple cider vinegar. And
Yeah.
whenever, you know, my immune system was going south or I wanted a little extra pep, my mom would just go, here, you know, 2 tablespoons and 8 ounces of water, drink this really quickly. And I'd be like, you know, because as a kid, you're like, it's really sour, even though I love that sour stuff.
Yeah.
And I just grew up drinking it. And then when I was a young adult, I became closer with Patricia and the team. And then, you know, in my 30s, when I was really interested in going more towards the health and wellness route, she
Okay.
asked me to join the board and to, you know, just help bring this magic potion. And I think it's a healing potion to the masses. And I'm all about, I think my whole ethos is like, how can we all live our best lives, our
Yeah.
fullest potential? Like, when I'm singing Roar or when I'm singing Firework, I'm like, if you have any doubt inside of you, get rid of it. You have the capacity. I also want you to physically be able to have the capacity, not even just mentally and spiritually. Like, we got to bring our bodies up to that level too, to meet with our minds and our hearts.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm so passionate about, you know, things like apple cider vinegar, which is, it's like, what vinegar? Why are we talking about vinegar? Well, actually, you want to read the Bible, we use vinegar back in the day. They've been using it for thousands and thousands of years, and I think it's time to re-educate the people on what its benefits are. So why don't you speak on some of that, Dr. Ed?
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So it's funny you mentioned that they've been using it for thousands of years, which is wholeheartedly true. Before we had medications for diabetes, people actually used to prescribe apple cider vinegar as
Really?
a way. Yeah, that's serious as a way to lower blood sugar.
Yep.
So there are a lot of different studies out there, and there definitely need to be more studies. I'm actually trying to conduct some of the studies here at the University of Chicago. But some of the studies have indicated that there are three benefits associated with apple cider vinegar. Okay, so one, weight reduction. Okay,
Oh, trust me, I like it. I like when you say that, just because I had a baby and I'm not a fan of working out like all the time, even though I love working out. It's just like, it's a lot. Even it feels like a workout when you put on a sports bra. So if I can have any help, any natural help, I will just
yeah.
take it.
So even with working out, the issue of working out and also eating a healthy diet, even with those in place, it's still tough to lose weight. I'm sure a lot of people out here know what I'm talking about. It's tough. So
Yeah.
one of the ways I got actually involved with apple cider vinegar, I had a lot of patients here on the south side of Chicago. They were coming in trying to figure out additions, supplements, something that they can add on to their weight loss journey. And unfortunately, when it comes to insurance companies, a lot of weight loss medications are not covered by insurance. And if you don't have good insurance, you just can't really afford this stuff out of pocket. So people were trying to do apple cider vinegar, and I'm a open-minded physician. So when they asked me, should I do this, I had to look up the literature. I had to look into it before I just said yay or nay. And what I found was there's actually been a lot of studies looking at apple cider vinegar and weight loss. So most of the studies looking at weight loss specifically used about 750 milligrams of acetic acid. Okay, so
Tell us
acetic
what
acid.
acetic acid is. Yes.
Yeah, so acetic acid is basically what vinegar is. It is the main active component within vinegar. So I know a lot of times people are focusing on the mother, which is the combination of bacteria and yeast, which may or may not be important, but we do know the acetic acid definitely is one of the most important components of the apple cider vinegar. So these studies found that people actually were losing weight when they were doing apple cider vinegar compared to a sugar pill like placebo. Okay. Now,
Right.
in all those studies, I do want to point out people still ate less. So it wasn't like they were just doing apple cider
Right.
vinegar by itself. They were still exercising and they were still eating less. So that's, I treat exercise and diet as the foundation. And apple cider vinegar, or even some of the medications that we can prescribe, these are things that you can add on top of the foundation.
Right, right, right. That's amazing. I like that. So was number 2 and 3, you said?
Yes. So the second portion is essentially decreasing blood sugar.
Right.
So there have been studies where they looked at how apple cider vinegar can specifically help to lower blood sugar. So for people who have diabetes and prediabetes, it may be a reasonable adjunct to your regimen. It may not necessarily take the place of a medication per se, but for someone who's struggling with some of those issues, it may have an impact on the blood sugar. And what I like for people who have prediabetes, which prediabetes is not quite diabetes, okay?
Right.
Where your blood sugar is elevated enough, but not quite high enough to be classified as diabetes, but you're at risk for it. So I've seen a lot of people use apple cider vinegar as treatment for prediabetes, at least in the context of diet and exercise, to help prevent them from crossing over into full-blown diabetes.
Right, right, right. Well, that's good. You want to catch it before it goes full blown.
Definitely.
That's right. And that third one is still related to diabetes, right?
It can be. So the third one is cholesterol.
Cholesterol. Ooh,
Yeah.
the C
So,
word.
yeah, high cholesterol. So high cholesterol is a problem. I mean, it can potentially increase the risk of heart attack and stroke. So it's really important to stay on top of your cholesterol. And there are some studies that have demonstrated that apple cider vinegar may have a modest effect on cholesterol levels. But again, that's also within the context of eating a healthy diet. So for a lot of people out there, where do we get cholesterol from? We get it from animal-based products. So if you're trying to lower your cholesterol, you have to eat less meat and eat more fruits and vegetables.
Right, right, right. I mean, cholesterol somewhat is genetic.
It can be.
It can be. And so, it's a fight to get that down because you're like, I was born with this. This is not fair,
Yeah. Yeah.
So you need all that help you can get rather than being on medications every single day. That's like, I truly believe that we were provided with all the answers, and science, yes, steps in and supplements in a very necessary way. But I think that like everything that we need to heal ourselves with has been created. The fruits and vegetables, if we partake in eating the right way and actually stay hydrated, and I just think that like we can really help our bodies heal wholly.
Yeah. So I agree with you. I mean, I think the healthcare system has done a disservice in terms of not really focusing on diet and exercise and incorporating food into treatment plans. But there's a time and place for medications too. And the biggest issue is we live in a world where our lifestyle is so artificial now. Like we're eating artificial foods. I mean, the majority of the calories that we eat. There was a good study that showed that 60% of the calories we eat come from ultra processed foods.
Yeah.
So if we have an unnatural lifestyle, we may actually have to have medications. But for folks who are trying to live more of a healthy, natural lifestyle, especially one where that prevents them from getting some of these conditions, apple cider vinegar and other supplements definitely can have their role.
Right, right, right. So now we're talking about, so I think everybody's familiar with apple cider vinegar, in the bottle. You've seen it in your grandmother's shelf or in the refrigerator. And it's that kind of like yellow looking bottle. But do you know that for some of you who are like, I don't really care for the taste, of apple cider vinegar. Now, my favorite thing ever is you can take a supplement. So these supplements, which are great, you don't have to actually drink apple cider vinegar. There are these 3 little supplements that you can take, and that's your daily dose. Can you tell me a little bit about this? You know, I see apple cider vinegar gummies.
Yeah.
And I wonder to myself, do they work, or is it just sugar pills?
It's very fascinating. So Bragg, they actually did a study where they looked at all the leading apple cider vinegar gummy brands, and what they found was pretty much all of them did not have the amount of apple cider vinegar or the acetic acid that was actually studied in all the clinical trials. So I think the amounts ranged from about 2 milligrams to 200 milligrams, which is a lot lower than the 750 milligrams that were in the studies. So,
Right.
you know, and the problem is a lot of these other supplements make a lot of health claims that are not necessarily true. And then to your point about the gummies, so each of these gummies actually have calories in it. So if people are trying to lose weight, you're taking in extra calories that you still have to burn off. And I mean, I wish you could eat gummy bears and lose weight, but it just doesn't work like that.
So how many gummies would I have to take or chew or whatever to get my acetic acid level with 3 supplements?
So 3 supplements, the Bragg's 3 supplements are going to have 750 milligrams of
Right.
acetic acid. Now, some of the other brands, there are some brands where you may have to eat 30 gummies to actually take in enough acetic acid to do
30 gummies.
30 gummies, which is crazy. Now, bear in mind, those 30 gummies, each serving may be about 15 calories or so, depending on which brand you're getting. So you start doing the math, that's a lot of extra calories.
Day. That's
Yeah.
my whole day. I'm not
It's
trying
crazy.
that.
Wait,
and 15 calories a gummy, and then 30 gummies to get your daily dose of apple cider vinegar wellness.
The 750 milligrams. So what was actually studied. So that's crazy. I mean, that's a lot of calories, and that's not necessarily going to be what's going to lead to weight loss. And the
Sounds
good
like
news
a sham to me.
it's not something that I would recommend.
Sounds like some snake oil.
It's a little snakish, just a
little
bit.
little snakish.
So I'm not going to name any brands because I don't want any lawyers coming after me. You know.
Hey, I mean, look,
humble doc on the south side.
Look, I think if Bragg knew that apple cider vinegar worked in a gummy,
yeah,
we would already be doing it. You know, we would be doing it as well. But I think that you can't possibly fit your daily dose that you need into 2 gummies. It's just it's not possible. But that's why we made the supplements, because we do know that, like, some people, it takes a minute for them to get used to that taste of 2 tablespoons and 8 ounces of water. Can you tell me, you said the 3 things, there's cholesterol, help blood sugar, and weight loss. Are there any other things with apple cider vinegar? I know that I have used it to clean, like a natural cleaning product in my bathroom. I don't know if anyone knows that. And like pets and hair, what's all that about? Do you know anything about that stuff?
I do. So acetic acid definitely has some antimicrobial properties. So there's been, plenty of instances in which people are using apple cider vinegar or vinegar in general to help sanitize surfaces. So is it as strong as bleach or something? No, it's not as strong as bleach, but it also doesn't.
You don't necessarily want to be using bleach every day.
You don't necessarily want to use a lot of the cleaning chemicals, which may have, toxic pollutants. Okay, so indoor air pollution is not necessarily a good thing. And some of the chemicals that we use for cleaning can definitely have chemicals in it that potentially can increase the risk of cancer and other conditions. So there's a good website, an environmental working group. They actually go through all the cleaning materials and highlight and rank which ones are more toxic to least toxic.
Oh, so, what's that called?
In the environmental working group.
Working group.
Yeah, so that is a great resource. Not only do they go through cleaning materials, but they also go through skincare products. They go through foods, and they list which foods have the highest amount of pesticides in them. So I love that website.
Ooh,
Shout out to
I'm scared to even go on that website because it's gonna be a real cleanse. You're gonna be
you
like,
know it is good information because the reality
yeah,
is I worry about the amount of carcinogens and some of the toxins that we're exposed to. And I know a lot of people out there are trying to do cleanses and whatnot. I think we need to focus on just not being exposed to a toxic environment. And what we use in our households definitely is a strategy to decrease that exposure.
yeah, because we're using it every day, you know.
Yeah.
So anything that you're putting in your house and around you and breathing in every single day, you might want to check out the label. I'm pretty like suspicious when I look at a label, like on
Okay.
any, whether I ingest it or spray it or what, and it's got, and the whole back of it, right?
Yeah.
So the whole back of it is just like things I can't pronounce. It's crazy. You know, it's not natural. I feel like a little like, ugh, what's going on? Actually, my one of the gals that works with me for over 12 years, Tamra, she is vegan, and she
Okay.
has been she's been plant-based, I think, ever since I've known her. And
Awesome.
she also is super natural with all of her uh, different things that she puts on herself. And she's like, you know, when you take her to the grocery store, it's like 2 hours because she's turning around every bottle and saying, what's in here? Oh my God, 35 ingredients? No,
Yeah.
half of them I can't pronounce. So, I mean, I really like when things are just, they say exactly what they are. You know, you've
Yeah.
got 3 ingredients in here, 4 ingredients in here. And it's organic pea starch, silica, and vegan capsule. And that's it. And apple cider vinegar. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Pretty
I'm in.
straightforward. Yeah.
Pretty straightforward. Please, I don't want to be duped anymore in life. I want the information, and that's what the internet is great for, is the education.
But it's funny you mentioned looking back at the food labels. So I definitely encourage everyone to look at your labels. And for me, I got into nutrition primarily because of looking at food labels. I remember
Yeah.
when I was undergrad at University of Michigan, when I went to college. Shout out to Michigan. I took my organic chemistry class, and I looked at the
Organic
back.
chemistry?
Yeah, that's part of the pre-med requirements. But I remember
Oh,
looking at the back of a food label, and I called my dad. I'm like, Dad, I now understand what they're putting in food. And when I think about that now, I'm like, wait, I shouldn't have to go take a organic chemistry class at a top-notch institution just to understand what I'm eating. Like
right,
this is crazy. But
right.
that's the reality of the situation. And even still, even with that information, I don't even understand half the stuff that we're eating.
Yeah.
So it's really important to look at your food labels because if you don't, you're putting the control of your health in somebody else's hands.
No, and we all know, I think that health is wealth.
Yeah,
You
oh,
know, that
definitely.
it's just our health is everything, and health doesn't discriminate, doesn't care who you are, what you have not. It's
Yeah,
just like it's all about your health and looking after your body, which is your temple,
definitely.
and making sure it's balanced and feeling good. You know, you are what you eat, truly. Like, I actually was at the zoo the other day and I saw some flamingos and I was like, why are they pink? And then Tamara was like, well, or actually it was my sister. She was
Okay.
like, my sister was like, actually, a lot of it comes from the shrimp that they eat. It's pink. I'm like, oh my gosh, we are what we eat.
She said it was from the
So
shrimp, so I'm
it
not
is
a
a little bit from that shrimp, but you know, I just want to look as healthy as an apple.
yeah, yeah.
You
I hear
know?
that. And everything that we eat, it definitely can have not only an impact on our bodies, but also the impact on our environment. And
That's
I
right.
think with climate change and everything, we need to start being aware of how our food not only affects ourselves but also our surroundings.
That's right.
And and even our supplements. Okay, so one of the reasons why I love the fact that Bragg has a scientific advisory board is really demonstrating their effort to make sure that they're putting out a quality product and they're also not selling snake oil. Okay, so they have physicians like myself. Like I'm a real physician. I'm not, out here just an Instagram influencer or anything
You just
like
put a
that.
feeding tube in. You're a real physician. You ain't
Yeah,
kidding.
I'm a real doctor. And and I was using apple cider vinegar for myself personally, years before any of this happened. But their scientific advisory board is really it includes experts like myself, and we're having conversations and also even trying to do research on the product to really understand why it's so effective. And what I like about this compared to other supplements, their ingredients are what they say they are. Okay,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of other supplements out there that people are using for weight loss that I've seen that are, in many ways can be dangerous. Okay, and I've seen people literally end up with liver transplants just because they're using a supplement to lose weight. Now, apple cider vinegar, I mean, you put it in salad dressings. Like, I've never seen anybody get a liver transplant from eating a salad. You know what I'm saying? Like, that'd be crazy.
Well, unless that salad is made of grapes, I mean, wine, then maybe you're gonna get a liver transplant.
Yeah, yeah, you'd have to drink a lot of a lot of
A lot
wine.
of grape salad. Well, it's been so awesome to speak with you. I hear you on that environmental part and what we can do to be more aware of how we are consuming and how we are partaking. I mean, like when you see a river running through China and Germany, you're
Yeah.
like, I don't know anymore, guys. I think the universe is sending us some signs. It's speaking pretty loud. So,
You know, we need to pay attention. I think there's definitely some changes that are going on that we should be aware of. And those changes, I mean, the food that we eat definitely can impact some of those changes.
well, awesome. Like I said, we are here on our live with Dr. Ed. I'm Katy Perry. We're on the Brag Instagram. I'm here to help introduce the apple cider vinegar supplements, which are the supplements, not gummies, because the gummies, as we've learned, you have to have 30 of them to even have the correct amount. They look like this. You can do 3 a day, and that's your
Yeah.
daily dose of apple cider vinegar. Unless you want to just like, put 2 tablespoons of ACV in your 8-ounce water and like take it with you during the day, like I like to do. I like that sour kick. But it's done amazing things for me. I always feel like when my immune system is turning south, I just take that. I'm just sipping on it every day, but especially when like I'm just not sleeping well or whatever, or when I need like when I don't want to have that caffeine crash anymore. It's super good to supplement out coffee, which is the most acid, and I heard ages you like the absolute most. So I'm always looking to kind of not to balance out, okay, I'm going to have coffee when I really need it, but I want to have something that really gives me that energy boost, and ACV definitely does. And you can use it for so many other variety of things. People use it for their hair, people use it for their pets, people use it to, disinfect and clean their bathroom, and they use it for baking and for making the most bomb ass salad dressing. So like you want a one-stop shop, it's an ACV.
Yeah, so I'm going to put my chef hat on.
Okay.
Like, using apple cider vinegar in food is amazing. Okay, so it's my favorite for salad dressings, and I love it for salad dressings because it's really more of a mild vinegar. All right, so if you're using like balsamic, it's going to be too strong, and it's going to overpower whatever oil you're using. Okay, but if you want to actually taste the taste of the oil, yet still have that vinegar flavor, apple cider vinegar, I mean, it's perfect for that. And I know you mentioned barbecue. So before I got into plant-based, before I got into plant-based cooking, I was hardcore barbecue. Okay.
Were you?
Hardcore. I'm talking about I was training for barbecue competition. What's up?
Half slab or full slab?
Oh, full slab. Like I had the smoker and everything. But I would use apple cider vinegar as my mop sauce. Okay. So my mop sauce, that's a sauce for those who don't know the art of barbecue. That's how you keep your meat moist. Okay.
What is it called?
A mop sauce. So
M-O-P?
like you literally have a little mop, MOP, and you have a little mop and you just mop, whatever you're cooking with the mop sauce. So exactly. So I would use my mop sauce, you're going to laugh, would be Heineken, apple cider vinegar, and soy sauce.
Really? Beer?
Yeah.
Heineken beer?
Heineken beer. Don't ask me about Heineken. I mean, that's where I was at that time in my life.
That's amazing.
But it would be delicious. So there's a lot of different culinary uses for apple cider vinegar. Yeah. But, for people who are trying to lose weight and you're looking for supplements, if something sounds too good to be true, be careful, okay? Because the majority of stuff, when you look at the labels and they just say, eat this and you'll lose 30 pounds, or, do this and you don't have to do anything else. Like, it doesn't really work that way, okay? And that's one of the reasons why I love Bragg and their scientific advisory board, because these are the conversations that we have in terms of what should be on the label. And I get to hold Bragg accountable to what the literature says.
See, science, guys. It's nice to have science on your side. Well, thank you, Dr. Ed. I just want to end with a couple of questions
Okay.
from the people. If someone just said, Kate, this is Katie's years. This is Katie, answer questions in all capitals. Okay, I'm going to answer a couple of questions related to Bragg's, ACV, any questions related to that. Maybe I'll sneak in, one other little question about something else. But
Okay.
I'm looking at the comments. I'm looking for some Bragg's questions. Anyone out there a ACV Bragg's fan? I want to know about it. Hi, everyone. Nature.
Yeah.
Someone said nature. That's all you need to say is nature.
I see someone said sing Dark Horse. I'm assuming they're asking you, not me.
You should try it. You go. You take this one.
Yeah,
Recycle,
you don't want me to sing
recycle. Yes, recycle. I'm all about that. I love
favorite drink to put.
Someone says, does Orlando like Bragg? Does Orlando like Bragg? Okay, so Orlando sometimes. Orlando is a lot like the founder, Paul Bragg. Paul was so fit, so natural. I think actually Orlando is the one that has brought me back to health and wellness even more so. I tend to hear a little bit more Memphis, a little bit more barbecue, a little bit more naughty. It's probably my unchecked emotions coming out. But he really keeps that balance. He is the epitome of strength and hot and balance and supplements, and he knows what he's eating, and he eats live foods, and he's really just a lot like Paul to me.
Okay.
When you see Paul like this in photos and these vintage photos, I'm like, oh my God, that is Orlando.
Yeah.
Swimming and hiking and biking and just being like buff hot dad.
It's good. It's good to have a partner that cares about health.
Oh my gosh, right? It's so much easier and sometimes annoying. You gotta admit, but it's all for the greater good, and he loves Bragg's. I mean, he's like, I don't know if he's just doing it to try and impress me or whoever cares, but he'll just shoot it. He'll just go blah. And he loves the shots. He's obsessed with the shots. I'm actually. He's been filming a lot in the Czech Republic, and I have been able to go and see him and support him. And every time I'm going to see him, I'm literally carrying a box of Bragg's shots with me every time I go, because he just goes through them, which are great. You guys should check them out. We now have shots, which you can just have every day. They're in little glass bottles, which is great. And yeah, so to answer your question about that, yes. Any other questions? How long have you been drinking apple cider vinegar so far? I have probably, since I was 9 years old, maybe even younger, 8 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. My mom, I've got my mother to thank for that, and the mother, of course, an ACV. But I have been doing it for a long, long time, and I have seen the benefits my whole life. And even in my parents who are in their 70s, 74, 73 and 74, they still, have apple cider vinegar every single day, and they're all about that life.
Awesome.
So I've been doing it since I was 9. Orlando is a fan. I'm going to take one more question.
I saw one question pop up. Someone says, are the capsules going to be less irritating? So if you have acid reflux or even dental concerns, the capsule should be less irritating than actually drinking the apple cider vinegar. So what I like with Bragg's, there's so many different forms of apple cider vinegar. They even have some of the drinks that have flavors. So if you don't like just the pure vinegar flavor or the dilute vinegar flavor, you got other options out there.
That's right. Yeah, you can there's like a honey ginger one. There's like a cayenne kick type one that's really good in the shots. I saw a question. Are you supposed to take
right here?
Oh, what do you have? Those are refreshers.
Yeah, so this is hibiscus and Concord grape.
That one's really good.
It is good.
That's good, and it's a great everyday drink. Instead of soda or like a Snapple or something, or even a tea or whatever, it's like this is going to have so many more benefits to it.
Right. And it doesn't have a lot of calories. Okay. So a lot of my patients are looking, yes, in a perfect world, we just would drink water, but there are some people who want flavor. Okay.
Right?
What I like about the apple cider vinegar drinks, they really don't have a lot of calories, but they do have a lot of flavor.
They do. And last question I'm going to answer. Someone said, do we drink it in the morning or at night? I typically prefer to drink it in the morning because it does give you the energy. But at nighttime, like especially in the winter, I'll make like a not a hot toddy because it's like a mocktail. It's like apple cider vinegar and a tea and some cinnamon and some honey inside of it, and it is so good. And some lemon. Or I'll do it as a spritzer for dinner. I'll have it with apple cider vinegar with soda water and just some lime and some cinnamon, and it's perfect as well. So that's when I'm doing it in the evenings, but mostly I'm doing it in the morning. And someone said, oh my God, Katy Perry, you are never aging. Well, ACV keeps you looking and feeling young. Why not, guys?
I love it. Hey, one more good use for apple cider vinegar. You could use it actually to marinate food. So I know we talked about barbecue, but there was a study that actually looked at using vinegar as a marinade for food to actually decrease the amount of bacteria that's in the food.
Really?
So yeah, they actually marinated chicken in apple cider vinegar and other vinegars to see how much, like they also used lemon juice to see how much bacteria was actually on the meat after the marinade. And the combination of apple cider vinegar and lemon juice actually significantly decreased the amount of bacteria that's on the chicken. Now, you still have to cook the chicken all the way.
Sure.
But, in the era where everyone's concerned about getting salmonella, I mean, I literally just saw somebody with salmonella not too long ago. It's out there. I'm dead serious. Like, this stuff happens. The stuff that you read about happens to real people. And that person, and I've seen multiple cases with salmonella where, it really just comes from chicken. But the marinade may actually decrease the risk of some of the salmonella, at least based upon the studies. Now, you still have to cook it all the way and don't let the salmonella get all over your kitchen and whatnot.
No. Not eating chicken tartare here, guys.
Yes, do not do that. That would be terrible.
Well, Dr. Ed, I appreciate you taking the time, to step away from your, saving lives job, which you do every single day, and providing the science, which is so necessary, the data, the information, the science behind what we are taking and eating every single day. Like, we need to be informed. So thank you for this information.
Well, thanks for having me. It's really been a pleasure meeting you and coming on your platform. And in general, thanks for doing Wellness Wednesdays. So I think you using your platform to talk about health and put good information out there, I applaud that wholeheartedly.
Well, I appreciate that. And I'm all about that wholeness, mind, body, soul. We need all of it to intertwine and be balanced and happy and healthy. And we know that health is wealth these days. So guys, if you're looking for some help, you can check out apple cider vinegar, Bragg's apple cider vinegar. You can also check out the supplements, which are so fun if you don't care for the taste or you just want, to put these in your everyday ritual. And we'll be online to talk more things soon. But thank you. And tell me the name of your friend that is 70 that's a fan.
Carol Simbrad.
Carol, it's
Carol?
Katy.
Yes.
I love you, and I hope to see you waking up in Vegas very soon.
Okay. I will make sure Carol gets that.
Okay, great. Thanks, Dr. Ed. Thanks, everyone at Bragg's. Talk to you later.
All right. Take care.
Bye.